Hey friend, Amy Tangerine here. Today I want to invite you to join me in the studio as I try some new supplies that I've been wanting to play with and I'm so excited to experiment with, along with rediscovering the joy of letting go and letting it get messy. Perhaps you'll go easier on yourself when it comes to playing with your own supplies. Maybe you'll see some techniques you want to try, and you might even learn from my mistakes and mishaps along the way. Feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And as always, I love reading your comments, so please feel free to leave them below. And of course, ask any questions that you might have as well. Let's start by ditching perfectionism and remembering that creativity thrives in the messy, unexpected moments. So grab those paints, markers, or whatever sparks your interest, and let's get those creative juices flowing. Something new just arrived in the studio, and they are these Tim Holtz Distress Spritz in all kinds of colors, and I'm going to choose a few to open up and experiment with in this B6 notebook. Now, I saw on the directions that you have to shake it up. I have no idea how to use these. I didn't even watch Tim Holtz overview about how to use these because I want to play with them first. I have this weird thing where I make these horrible mistakes like I just did. I don't even know why I wanted to spray the spritz on there and make a mess, but I'm taking these distress inks instead, and I'm going to ink up this old stamp that I have. I believe it's from Hero Arts from a while ago, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's just a textured pattern. And then I'm going to spritz it on top and see what happens. Now, I didn't do any research on how to use these sprays because what I like to do, that's kind of interesting. What I really prefer doing is just grabbing a hold of new supplies and then experimenting with them. And then I might go back and research and watch Tim's video. His videos tend to be so long and so instructive and so informational and valuable that I want to just start playing. And I think that's why I'm motivated to just go ahead and dive in without having to see how to actually use these things. But I know that the distress line is all meant to work together. Sorry for the camera shaking. So I am playing with it. I'm going to take this thing that I always forget the name of, and I still can't remember it right now. Punch something? Punch. It's a mask. And oh, I like that. See how that turned out? Ooh, that's really pretty. So I'm actually not finding my little dauber thing, or I cannot remember the names of things right now. Forgive me. I just rubbed the ink pad across there, and now I'm going to spray again. And I noticed that there's some left over on the other side, so I'm going to stamp it over here. I really like how that looks. Now this to me looks like such a mess, but I have a little bit more ink, and then I also want to try a little bit in my Hobonichi because I don't like to waste any supplies whatsoever or any bits of ink if I can. So I sprayed it. And what I want to do is take a paper towel, and I'm going to see how it looks when I just dab a little bit of it off and then lift it up. Okay, that didn't turn out great. And then there's still a little bit on, so I'm just going to transfer it like so. Nice. Now that this is dry, I actually think that I need to cover a lot of it up. Not very pleased with the way it looks, but I have faith in the process. I'm grabbing a page from my book Paper Play, and the idea of these papers is that they're meant to be torn out and used as collage. If you're new to mixed media or collage or any of this type of free form art, I really invite you to embrace this idea that it's not just about making art, it's about rediscovering happiness in every stroke or splash or tear. Let's really break free from the fear of imperfection and maybe reframe it so that we enjoy the process like we did when we were kids and we were a little bit freer with our expectations. We can play with colors, we can experiment with textures, and don't worry about making quote unquote mistakes. The journey and act of creating should be as enjoyable as the finished product, if not more. So it's all about the journey to me as I'm tearing these pieces, figuring out where they go, really taking a look at it from a holistic perspective of getting lost in the moment, but also allowing the creative juices to flow freely. I'm already liking the direction it's going, and I want to take some supplies that are a little bit older, right? Encourage you to use those supplies that you might be holding on to. This is a washi sticker book from the Happy Planner. And here is, I think, an example of why we need to use our supplies. I couldn't lift it off of there at the end, but I got it on this side, which is good. And I'm simply going to tear it instead of using scissors. Now I've got this piece that I want to place down on both the left side and the right side for continuity and for it to look cohesive on both pages. If you have some stickers, washi tapes, or supplies that you've been holding on to, collecting, dare I say hoarding, I encourage you to really take those out and use them. This is another page from Paper Play that I'm going to rip out and maybe add some journaling to, because I know that I need a little bit more calmness, and instead of so much pattern being in the background, I'm going to take these stamps that are my collaboration with Altenew, and there's a message on here that I think I could use every single day. And I know that even some of my friends who are so successful and so high achieving, they need to hear this too. So maybe it resonates with you. Get out of your own way, especially when it comes to creative play. Here is a little dandelion, but I realized that some ink got into the side of it. So I have that little piece that I've decided really bothers me and I want to cover it up. This is a new to me product, Lunar Paste by Simon Hurley. And this color is just so vibrant and fun. I'm going to take this paintbrush, and I don't even know, like I said, I don't even know if this is how you're supposed to use this product, but because I love painting and because I want to try to incorporate this color in more than just one spot, I'm taking the paintbrush and just making these sort of rectangular brick-like shapes that are very easy to do and putting them onto the page. And because I believe in using every little juicy bit, I'm going to take some of the excess and put it on my planner page in my Hobonichi. But then I realized that maybe I can put some water onto it. And once I do that, it turns out that the Lunar Paste and Prom Queen by Simon Hurley matches almost perfectly with the picked raspberry from Tim Holtz. I don't personally care about things matching, but I love that it goes so nicely together. It complements each other. Now here is the Tim Holtz book. This is probably my second book that I've purchased of the same one because I love these little words. And I tend to examine the words and come up with a way that I want to feel. So I chose 3 of them, and it's embrace everyday magic. Now, what I want to do is say, get out of your own way and embrace everyday magic. This is some kind of very basic advice that I could use every single day. I'm taking this ampersand stamp that I've had from Hero Arts for a long time, and I just stamped it right in the middle. It just happened to work out to be the right size. If I had thought about it sooner, I would have done it, in a different order. I'm grabbing this sticker book, which I've also linked in the description box below, and I love this butterfly. This is a washi tape sticker book. Maybe it's user error. Maybe I'm just having a hard time picking off these stickers with my nails, and I probably need some tools. Is this why people use tweezers? Maybe. Tell me if you have a tip about removing these stickers from sticker books. I think this one even came with tweezers, and I was like, oh, I don't need to use those. So here this sticker is just going to go right in this space up here. Do you have stickers that you're holding on to? Are you perhaps waiting for the perfect time to use those supplies? Well, my friends, the time is now. The time to use your supplies that you love is right now. So here is this girl holding a phone. And what's so interesting is that every morning I wake up with questions in my head. And sometimes I write them down, sometimes I put them into my phone, sometimes I journal about them. But one question that keeps coming to me is, what are you calling, or what's calling to you, right? And invite the introspection that comes with that very broad question. So I took it very literally when I chose that girl on the phone. And it's like, okay, well, who's calling? What's calling to me right now? And how do I want to approach life today? What message am I trying to receive? Or what's life trying to tell me? I've cut the little scallop washi strips and applied 2 of them up here. I like to have things go to the edge, if you haven't noticed that already. Now taking some Fiskars scissors and cutting a piece of this page from Paper Play, I want to have the journaling go over both of the sheets, somewhere in the middle here. So I'm going to cut it down there and then adhere both sides with a glue stick. What new things do you want to try today? Whether it's a new art technique, a different medium, or even exploring a new hiking trail or a different route to work, stepping outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. Embrace the excitement of learning and discovering. Okay, so I have to tell you, I did watch a little video to use this lunar paste, and I realized that I have this perfect mask stencil from my collaboration with Altenew. So when I watched Simon do this, I almost gasped at how easy it was and why I didn't think to do it before. Well, I just didn't know, right? And so I think that's why we have to watch these videos. That's why probably you're on YouTube, to feel inspired and to have some of your creativity sparked in some way. Oh my goodness, as I lift this off, it's so good. And I got so excited to use a little bit more over here with these little triangle arrows. I love this color. I didn't watch long enough to see how long it takes to dry, but I don't have the patience right now. I'm just so excited. Going to do one more here because I like things in odd numbers sometimes. Now I look at this and maybe there are some even numbers as well, but typically I like things in 3s, and I'm creating this visual triangle, if you noticed, with the lunar paste elements. I'm channeling my Simon Hurley energy and doing what he said about putting the excess back in, closing the lid tight, and I have to go wash this with water. In case you were wondering, that lunar paste was in the color Roar. How cute is that? I'm taking these little alphabet stamps and I'm going to try to put a title in for the theme of this page, which sort of relates to the question that I woke up with this morning, along with a reading from a meeting. I didn't realize that that rhymed. Wherever your inspiration comes from, see how you can make a connection to let it inspire you in whatever you're experiencing in your life. And hopefully it'll have a positive influence on you. A positive connection can be made with that information. Taking 30 minutes to make this spread was so healing to me in so many ways. And oh, look, I got some of that Roar lunar paste on me because I didn't let everything dry. Oopsies. Well, that's some learning for me because I probably should be a little bit more patient when it comes to my art making and letting it dry. But it doesn't look like it did much damage at all. Although, right when I did that, I feel like that is kind of a big annoying mistake where I connected the C to the O and it kind of looks like a butt. So I'm going to take a little scrap of paper, stamp a C onto it, and then simply glue it down. And look, I got some more lunar paste on me as I was trying to fix another mistake. So the lesson here, I know there's a lesson here. I will probably get to it by the end of this video, but I think it has to do with letting go and not being such a perfectionist. So there's the C, and I made the page, I didn't cut off enough of that other side, so I'm correcting with a Tombow Funosque. Now I'm adding the questions that I really want to explore on this art journaling page or the spread. Has something been calling you, inviting you to seek answers from within? What have you seen in the outside world that makes you want to listen more intently? And I love that the girl is on the phone. I love the way this looks. I'm going to add some lines with a ruler and a pen to have the space for journaling. I'm going to actually take quotes out of this reading from this morning, and I'm just going to put it on the page because I got a little bit more of the lunar paste in that corner on my ruler, but it didn't ruin the actual flowers or the designs. And so as I journaled this out, it felt so freeing to not have to overthink, right? I didn't want to come up with my own answers. During this process, I came up with some revelations on my own on how to connect more with nature, how important it is and essential it is to get out of my own way. And also, I don't have to answer the questions or spend too much time on these questions. I can take them with me along the journey of my day. I can take them through the afternoon. I can see how I feel about it. And if I feel inclined to journaling about it later, I can also do that. But I wanted to put down something that resonated with me so much during the reading at the meeting. I just have to laugh. So the journaling is from a book called Courage to Change, and it's straight from that page that corresponds with today, July 8th. Trees don't sit around and worry about forest fires. The water in the pond doesn't fret over turbulence it encountered a few miles upstream. And I have never seen a butterfly pry into the affairs of its fellows. All of creation is going about the business of living. If I keep my eyes open, I can learn to do the same. And then it also says, I live in a world full of wonders. Today I will pay attention to their gentle wisdom. Remember, it's not about creating something perfect. It's about enjoying the ride, the process, and expressing ourselves authentically. Take things one day at a time. That's what this little swan is telling me. Take what you like from this video and leave the rest. If you've read any pages in Courage to Change, let me know in the comments. Or if you just want to connect with the courage that I know you have inside of you, allow yourself to get messy, try new things, embrace perfection, connect with nature, and most importantly, have fun along the way. Infusing play into our everyday lives not only enhances our creativity, but also brings more joy, fulfillment, and a renewed sense of curiosity, understanding, and appreciation about the world around us. Creativity can be incredibly healing, wouldn't you agree? Thanks as always for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share any comments and questions or wisdom below. Keep those creative juices flowing, my friends. The reality of my desk and what it looks like when I'm creating. These are the Simon Hurley lunar paste, the neon paste, and I don't feel like cleaning up. Oh, should I show you the page from my Hobonichi? There you go. Bye for real this time.